Pope Francis has opened a global summit of bishops at the Vatican. The synod kicks off as the Catholic Church is struggling with key issues like the role of women in leadership or blessings for gay couples. Progressives are hoping it will lead to more women in leadership roles, but conservatives are warning that church doctrine on everything from homosexuality to the hierarchy's authority is at risk. Well, Seema Gupta has been staying on top of this story for us, and she joins me now live from the Vatican. Seema, tell us a bit more about the synod. What's it all about?
Well, essentially, it's an unprecedented assembly this time round, the broadest consultation on the direction of the faith, some say, since the Second Vatican Council back in 1962. So you're having 26 days of closed-door meetings, 464 people in attendance, of which 365 have the right to vote. And among those, we're seeing for the very first time some 50 or so women and lay people. So that's the first time we're seeing that happen. In the past, it's always been senior clerics involved. Now, this is really part of Pope Francis's papacy as a whole. He's always talked about inclusion and been sort of averse to this top-down approach within the Catholic Church. And he announced this synod back in 2021, gave the Catholic churches around the world, the regional churches, a chance to come forward with various topics to be discussed. And they've suggested things like how to elevate women's role, as you mentioned, how to perhaps welcome divorced Catholics, the rights of LGBTQ Catholics, as well as maybe more steps in dealing with clerical sexual abuse. Now, just at the opening of the meeting on Wednesday, Pope Francis talked about the need to make the church a place of welcome for everyone, everyone, everyone. He reiterated that 3 times, trying to push his point across. But clearly, we've got those in the church who are hopeful for change, perhaps the more liberal side of the church, and those on the other side that are perhaps more fearful of potential change, perhaps those more on the conservative side of the church.
Right. So, Seema, here you have these two sides are really taking shape. The lines are really being drawn. How do you see it developing?
Well, even before this synod kicked off, we saw a letter being brought forward by 5 conservative cardinals. And in that letter, they had these various questions, concerned that this synod is going to create greater confusion and errors within the Catholic Church, particularly on the issue of what happens with gay couples and the ordination of women. Pope Francis, for his part, responded to those doubts, saying that he's open to the blessing of same-sex couples, but making it very clear that this is not the sacrament of marriage, which is strictly, according to Catholic teaching, between men and women. But he said you cannot be the judge to decide who should be denied, rejected, or excluded. Those opposed to his viewpoint, though, are concerned that the agenda of the synod is really more political and human as opposed to being more ecclesial and divine. So really, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this meeting, but there will be another one in October of 2024 before we see any potential changes. It's been a busy day at the Vatican, though. Today, also, Pope Francis released a follow-up document, if you like, to his document from 8 years ago on the issue of climate change, talking about how there needs to be a stronger move towards tackling this issue, calling on the world to take action, the international community, as we are very close to breaking point on the issue, saying that people need to change their lifestyle and to debunk those that are skeptics and deniers of climate change. So lots happening at the Vatican today and in the days ahead at these closed-door meetings among these various clerics as well as lay people.
Seema, thank you for that. Seema Gupta, they're reporting from the Vatican.